a complete guide to Elon Musk's Starship. Hello everyone, and welcome back once again to our channel Top TB10s. Elon Musk's Starship is the one in which he will take people to Mars and space, but do we know anything about it? Let's dive into today's video to know the entirety. Starship is the entirety of the reusable launch system developed by the American aerospace organization known as SpaceX. The Starship consists of two stages. The first stage is Super Heavy, and the second one is Starship. Elon Musk is developing some vehicles that could act as a game changer for every space travel, and Starship, as its name says, will be a highly reusable transport system that could carry over 100 people to Mars. The founding ethos of the private spaceflight organization of Elon Musk, SpaceX, was to make humans' life multiplanetary. The objective is motivated by various extensive threats like asteroid strikes to wipe out humanity. Settling other planets will surely place some of the eggs in the brackets that could spare human civilization if one of them were to experience a cataclysm. In 2016, the entrepreneur outlined his rationale at the International Conference in Mexico. He said that history would bifurcate over two directions, where one path is we will stay on Earth and the second is the extinction event. Musk always spoke about his dream of building a colony on Mars, and he believes that settlement over the red planet will need a massive number of people to become self-sustaining. Now, let's talk about Starship in detail. At the launch of Starship, the aircraft used to sit over a rocket known as Super Heavy. The entire system used to stand around 120 meters tall and is also known as a Starship. The Super Heavy booster comprises components like a flight computer, batteries, vents, and the four grid fins. The grid fins are installed over the booster and are controlled electrically, and it controls the Super Heavy's touchdown and descent into the launch tower's pair of mechanical arms. The grid fins are not spaced out properly, and despite that, they are positioned closer to control the pitch of the booster while landing. As of 2021, SpaceX planned not to retract the grid fins during their launch mass increase, citing complexity and insignificant drag for the rationale. The organization also planned to use vented evaporated gas from some tanks as the reaction control system, and this booster will help control the booster's altitude during the flight. Let's take the spacecraft now. With its landing fins and nose cone, the stainless steel vehicle resembles the rocket ships from the golden age of science fiction. At the rear of the 160 feet, the long craft is 6 highly effective Raptor engines, developed over a decade ago by SpaceX. The combustion used to take place in various stages, and the engine's design cuts the amount of wasted fuel. Methane and oxygen are there in the spacecraft to act as a fuel and oxidizer, the chemical that makes the fuel burn, and the combination is dubbed methalox. Now, let's talk about the rocket. The rocket measures around 70 meters in length, and the Super Heavy is filled with 3,400 tons of cryogenic methalox. It is powered by 32 Raptor engines and is designed to achieve over 70 meganewtons of maximum thrust. It will lift around 100 tons of payload and over 150 tons to lower Earth orbit. What is the Starship made for? What is its use? Musk is seeking to install over 40 cabins in the payload area near the front of the upper stage for the long-duration trips to Mars and back, which could take 9 months for a journey. The payload bay will host some storage space, a shelter, a galley, and some common areas where people can gather for some solar storms where the sun belches out harmful charged particles into space. Starship will also be used in the Artemis program in NASA. It aims to establish a long-term human presence on the moon. In April 2021, the U.S. Space Agency awarded the organization SpaceX a contract of over $2.8 billion to develop starships in the lander capable of delivering astronauts to the lunar surface. The version tailored for Artemis flight will not eventually possess the flaps or heat shields that are required for a return journey to Earth. Instead, the Starship's human landing system will remain in space after it is launched from Earth, to be used for various trips between Moon's surface and lunar orbit. The cargo or the uncrewed version of the Starship features the payload bay that opens up like the mouth of a crocodile, and it will allow it to be used to launch satellites. The organization says that the huge payload capacity will open various possibilities for new types of robotic science missions, including the James Webb Observatory, the forthcoming successor to Hubble, and the telescopes. The system will be used for space tourism and various high-speed journeys between distinct destinations on Earth. Musk also said that starships would carry people to their solar system destinations that include gas giant planets like Jupiter. When will the Starship fly? Over the past few years, SpaceX has tested various prototypes of the upper stage at its starbase in Boca Chica. The organization started in 2019 with a test article known as Starhopper that bears a passing resemblance to a water tower. So even if the founder's timelines are sometimes optimistic, he has developed a reputation for achieving goals no matter how ambitious. So that's all about Elon Musk's Starship. Let us know your views in the comments below.